Hey, howdy, and welcome all to the Big and Bright Podcast. My name is Dick. This here next to me is I have no idea.
Nicholas.
Yes. What happened to your face?
What are you talking about?
What did you do, you horrible person?
I have no idea what you're talking about. My face is the same.
You had a glorious beard, and you removed it, and for that, I admonish you.
So we agree my beard is glorious.
I admonish you thoroughly. Well, it's not anymore. It's been.
I'm just saying.
Removed.
I'm gonna clip this part of the video and say like, Nick, remember when you said this?
This is our second week back, and you punish these people with your hideousness, sans beard.
Hey, sometimes you gotta, corrupt the police lineup. That way they don't guess who you are.
Sometimes the beard makes the man, which was absolutely the thing in your case. That was your only redeeming feature, and you took it away.
On that note, please like, subscribe, share.
Like other episodes, not this one.
This one's the best one.
We don't want to encourage James in this behavior.
You know what? As a reaction, that's why I'm wearing this shirt, because you hated on Cube so much I had to wear a Maverick shirt.
You're wearing a Maverick shirt, which is equally ridiculous. It's just the James Clown Show.
Whatever. You're wrong as usual.
Do like and subscribe. Do share. Do comment. All that stuff really does help us. There's a bell. There's a bell on Spotify. So if you listen on Spotify, ring the bell.
And I think there's also a bell on YouTube.
There's a bell on YouTube. So go wherever you are.
We wasted a minute asking for it, so you might as well do it.
Wherever you are, ring that bell. Friends, so we can keep bringing you this news. Hopefully James gets his beard back quickly so
I'll find it. It's somewhere.
Become watchable. We got a lot to get to today, starting with our favorite Texas town.
Oh,
Houston.
Houston. Oh, how you
Texas.
Stepped in it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't help it.
You got a baseball team that cheats at the World Series. Now you got this situation. What is happening with Houston, James?
Well, for those of y'all who missed it,
this is actually kind of a national story too.
Yeah, for those
kind of blends with the national.
I have to get a backstory to the actual story, so bear with me. Houston last year, this year, about February, police chief and Houston mayor Sylvester Turner did a $53 million attempt to rectify Houston's crime problem. They call it One Safe Houston. More boots on the ground, more courts.
How much did One Safe Houston cost?
$53 million. I said that.
Did you say $53 million?
$53 million.
I think you should say that again.
$53 million of your tax money, Houston. Your tax money.
Your money. That's more. That's more money than the Civil War cost.
Well, happens. Anyways, One Safe Houston. They not only had the more boots on the ground, more police, despite defund the police by a lot of Democrats. They wanted it, and they said, "Well, we're also going to do a carve out for a gun buyback system for $1 million."
Oh goodness!
Because that makes sense. Because Houston's been just fantastic with crime problems.
This is what confuses me about gun buyback systems. And maybe admittedly I'm ignorant when it comes to economic policy, but how does a gun buyback system cost $1 million? Where's that cost going when all you have to do is put out a pamphlet that says, "Hey, we'll buy your gun, come to this place"?
But the name itself doesn't make sense. I didn't buy my gun from the government.
Yeah.
I bought it from a store or a person, what have you.
Yeah.
You can't buy back what was never yours.
Yeah. And that's
in the first place.
Is that if you're purchasing, I guess it's maybe $1 million if you're spending it in cash, but you're purchasing an asset. So, in assets, you shouldn't have lost $1 million. But you're right. I didn't buy my gun from the government.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, the program
sell it back to the government.
Exactly. Here's how the government program they have they gave participants like $50, $100, $150, $200 in Visa gift cards, so they can't give cash for whatever reason because it could go to other lucrative things.
Yeah.
$50 for broken guns, paperweights. $100 for shotguns and rifles. I would take that price any day.
Yeah.
$150 for handguns. All right, and $200 for automatic. What? Okay, is this your definition of automatic, or is it like actually automatic?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
I don't even care.
Houston government. I'll come down and I'll buy those.
Yeah.
I'll buy those shotguns back from you with a 50% margin.
I'll double the price. Yeah. I'll take it from you.
I'll buy it for $150.
Yeah.
$150. That's $50. Right? You're making $50 per shotgun.
The taxpayers are making. See, you're helping the taxpayer build some of those roads. Make it stink less. Whatever. It's Houston.
Make people less fat.
Good job. And Turner's whole thing he went on Good Morning America because, of course, he's woke enough and he's in Houston. He said if we, prevent...
Is that the Michael Strahan one?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think it's Michael Strahan.
Old Michael Strahan.
If we took one gun off the streets that could have been used to seriously injure or kill someone, then it's the right thing. No, it's not. What's $1 million for one gun?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's a. I don't know what gun. Did George Washington hold that gun? Because I'd pay that if I had that kind of money. That'd be great. But no, this is a regular little, probably a high point that was likely going to be used in a robbery that someone bought for less than $200. And said, here you go. Thanks.
You know what you could also do? You could take that $1 million and put it into the salaries of the police officers in your city.
Yeah.
That would also
Well, they're trying to beef it up. The biggest problem now is recruiting and trying to get guys to actually come there. I'm not really shocked because Houstonians, I have, again, all links in the description. Houstonians have been chanting defund the police since February of 2021. Mm-hmm. So are you really shocked? It's like, but to his credit, Turner has not been one of those. He has not been the typical blue city mayor that's been rah-rah about it. However, he's also not said really anything negating them besides this PSA of, hey, we want more boots on the ground. All right, cool, let's do it. See you later. No questions. So he at least did the right thing in some ways, but still kind of trying to go around because I don't want to defend this argument. I just want to say the argument and move on.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is you're trying to vouch for one thing, you're trying to say one thing, but then influence policy in another way.
Yeah.
And this is just a fact of politics. That doesn't work.
No.
Right? If you
Eventually you have to answer a question.
Exactly. And if you say, oh, yeah, I'm for defund the police, and then you look at the police officers and go,
wink, wink,
we really want you back. The police officer will be like, no, not if you're going to be saying that about me.
Look at that.
Right? Not
just found my retirement papers.
Yeah, not if you're going to be putting that kind of rhetoric out there and encouraging people to fight me in the street. No, I'm not going
to. But that was the main problem, like I just said, for retirement, that they've been retiring in droves. Because, they don't want us here. Fine, I'll go somewhere else or else quit. I'll go do a regular person job. I get my pension later on.
Yeah. No, you're not kidding. I really think that Houston is a great example of somebody who is, and it's not. I can't even really find the right words for it because it's not riding.
Because it's so brain dead.
No, it's not riding the fence though. It's literally saying one thing and trying to influence another. Right?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to exist as a woke city in the United States of America, but they're also acknowledging the fact that they still live in the great country of Texas.
Yeah.
And they're trying.
The reality is around us, fellas.
And so they're trying to, in reality, increase law enforcement, all this stuff, while saying, on the other hand, and doing these completely like everything that they do that's useful is on the right, and everything that they do that's useless, like the gun buyback, is on the left.
Yeah.
The gun buyback is useful in one way. It demonstrates loyalty to the cause, right? It's a literal government virtue signal.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to do anything to influence the actual crime rates. Whereas the things that do actually influence crime rates, like increased police force, they're doing it kind of quietly. It's like on the side.
Well, you mentioned crime rates. What's funny is that the crime shockingly has spiked. I didn't see this coming. Who could have seen this coming?
Coming.
Don't worry. In 2020. There was only 205 homicides. That's a totally low number. 205 people dead senselessly. It's fine. In 2021.
In one city. That's not in the state. One city, yeah.
267. All right, so it ticked up a little bit, 50 plus. But it ticked up.
Mm-hmm.
Already this year, 279. Yeah, don't worry. They of course temper it, as we've kind of done with other things for Austin whenever we talked about their crime rates going up. Guys, homicides are up. That's a fact. Yeah. Whatever. But other violent crimes like assault, rape, robbery are down compared to 2021, so we're fine.
It all evens out.
Yeah. I mean, sure, the criminals graduated to murder, but let's not focus on that. There's no more robbery.
And first of all,
because the person they were going to rob, they already killed.
I just want to point something out for those of you guys who are in the future. First of all, hello. I hope you're enjoying the new plague.
Hey.
Second of all, it's August, and we're at 279.
Yep.
It's August, and they had 250 in a year, and we're not even 3/4 of the way through the year.
Yeah.
And we're at 279.
Yep.
So this is a big deal.
Worse.
But at least they got their gun buyback program out there.
They did.
And how many guns did they require, James?
I believe it says here, let me just kind of scroll down to it, 800.
800 guns.
It was like 840. Sorry, 840.
840 guns in a city in Texas with over 1 million people.
Yeah.
Well over 1 million people.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually,
success.
fun fact, the largest city in Texas, and they got 800 whole guns. And that's where you get this comment from Mayor Turner saying, well, if we got just one. Yeah, because you might as well have gotten just one.
Yeah.
Right? If you're talking about 800 guns. Yeah, 800 guns that were willingly given to you.
But don't you worry, Nick. 62 of those were from a nice young gentleman.
What's this gentleman's name?
I don't know.
It's anonymous. He's an anonymous person.
It's anonymous.
I just wanted to confuse you.
Okay. I was like, I didn't see that in the article.
There's good reason why this man wants to remain anonymous, because otherwise I would shower this man with praise.
I would. I would be like, share this guy.
Utterly shower
awesome.
this guy.
Can we
with
get
praise.
him a statue now?
Yes.
This guy traded in 62 3D printed guns, often referred to as, you've heard Biden and Harris repeat over and over something they don't know what they're talking about, ghost guns.
Ghost guns.
And received $50 per gun. Turns out he claims to make it, he only costs about $3 each from a 3D printer. Don't worry, don't rack your brain. I've done the math. That's $3,100 net minus his $186 cost equals $2,914 profit.
Decent payday.
$3,000. Basically, from my head, $3,000.
I love this man.
Yeah.
I love this man.
He stated the goal was not to make a personal profit, but to send the leaders of Houston a message about the $1 million just boondoggle BS.
This man is my favorite person in the entire world.
Oh, yeah. And what's funny is that Mayor Turner, respect, he said, we're going to exclude those next time around.
Yeah, he says,
I wonder why.
Next time we're gonna exclude the 3D printed.
But what's weird about that is we talked about this about a year back.
Yeah.
Ghost guns are bad. Remember when Biden had that new rule put in that you don't? I'm not shocked because he does a lot of stupid stuff, so it's hard to keep up.
And it was this idea, the way that he was portraying it, and I don't remember the exact speeches that he was making with regard to
Well, he doesn't either, so it's fine.
It made this okay.
Too soon?
It's right now, so sure. But he made the point that these ghost guns were killing millions of people. Yep. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know of any. Certainly, there's no mass shootings that have been in the news that were committed with ghost guns.
Because you're not paying attention, Nick.
I actually haven't even seen a news story of someone who was killed in a homicide.
Nick, are you trying to unvalidate Vice President Kamala Harris saying an especially grave threat to our safety and communities?
Excuse me. President Kamala Harris. Let's be real.
Well, it depends on which
really
stutter comes back up with a Biden.
No, I am. Yes, I'm absolutely discrediting her. I think that
that's shocking.
The fact that people are 3D printing guns is not one of the driving factors of homicide in the United States.
No,
right? Call me crazy, but and you know what? I haven't looked up the statistics on this.
Neither have they.
I just have a gut feeling that you're wrong.
Right, because even the article, again, you'll have in the description, it even says at the time, ghost guns have recently been cited by metropolitan police chiefs and politicians only, was one of the causes of increased crime rates across the country. So what changed? Why aren't you buying this anymore?
Is that a quote from the article?
That's a quote from the article.
So there has to be at least one police chief, right?
They don't claim it. Who is?
I mean, the news,
metropolitan.
The news wouldn't lie.
No, you can't. And also, it's on the internet. You cannot put anything on the internet that's not true.
Pretty sure that's illegal.
Fact check hashtag.
Fact check hashtag.
But yeah, it's so funny that he says we're not going to buy those. It's ridiculous. Like your own guy, less than a year ago, said these are super dangerous, guys. We need to get a tamper down on this, and wrote a rule in.
Yeah,
basically an EO. He did it slightly under the table, so it wasn't quite an EO, but it was basically an EO. And now all of a sudden it's not because one guy trolled you. Maybe you just kind of proved a point that y'all are stupid.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. You're just doing this to, like you said, to look woke and then still try to solidly put some police force. And the police are not having it. They're like, no, we're not stupid. You're going to take away guns and expect us to be the guns for it. No.
And this is why I say the man is a hero, because he even said, it's not about the money.
Yeah.
Right? Now, this kind of makes him a villain. He's kind of like the Joker, right?
Yeah.
Because literally his line is, it's not about money. It's about sending a message, right? which is the exact line.
And to me, it's an hilarious message.
The man who chose to remain anonymous told Fox 26 that the goal was not personal profit, but to send a message about spending $1 million tax dollars on something that has no evidence of any effect on crime. Again, he's just standing there in the Heath Ledger makeup with the money burning behind him. It's about sending a message, right?
I just imagine him in the middle of the street. I'm not going to do the gesture, but just imagine what I'm doing. It's like, I mean, he has to do the chants. I mean, he's doing all kinds of just MAGA, whatever, because he's just like, y'all are so stupid, and yet I'm the dumb one because I vote Republican. How about that?
Yeah. Well,
but at least I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's popped in my head. I'm just glad to see a taxpayer finally get some return, from taxes.
Yeah,
you never usually see that. And this is the one time. No wonder he wants to remain anonymous. The government wants to tax it again. It's like, well, you got money back in taxes. We're going to tax the tax we gave you. So
we're going to spend your tax money to buy back your guns that we didn't sell you, and then we're going to tax you on the money that we gave you back from your tax.
That was supposed to be. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you'll keep up.
This all makes sense, man.
Yeah.
This all makes sense, right?
As long as you trust the Fed. Trust the Fed.
That's why federalism is awesome, right? Semantics is everything. Federalism is awesome. It's the two methods of our. It's the two slogans of our podcast here. The fact here is, friends, that there are a lot of people out there that are going to defraud the government in various ways. Yeah. This isn't fraud. What the guy's doing is not fraud. No. He's just selling guns to a gun buyback. So, yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and say that's fraud. But there are actual criminals out there that are getting really creative. One of whom, a man who also might be my hero, is a gentleman in Fort Worth, Texas, who went to a federal corrections facility. It's a federal prison in Fort Worth, Texas, and took a drone and flew it into the prison with drugs and contraband.
Amazon box.
He's flying drugs into a federal prison. If this guy is found, I want to.
To be fair, it is drugs. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. Yeah,
but hilarious.
But they're already in prison. That's the thing. It's like
no, he's not.
I know he's not. But the people who are going to be getting it are already in prison. Yeah. So it's not like we got to get these drugs off the street. They're already off the street.
You're welcome.
It's literally in prison. Right?
He is doing what you try to do all the time. You're welcome.
So the drone crashed
in the caged area.
Inside the yard. So he's trying to, while the people are out in the yard, he's trying to drop things so that people, when they go out and think,
down the arsenic.
This guy's awesome, right? Okay, federal correctional facility in the south part of the city. Authorities recovered a package containing 46 grams of crystal meth, 87 grams of pressed THC, 2 prepaid smartphones, and 9 MP3 players. Because you gotta have those beats.
Just sounds like a great Saturday.
You gotta have those beats.
What is pressed THC? When I read that, I was like, "What? Is it concentrate or something?"
Pressed THC, as far as I understand, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is, but I do know that you have this. There's a really high concentrated THC in this sort of tacky material that is produced.
Like wax.
Yeah, that's produced.
Okay, I've heard of wax. Okay,
that's what I'm thinking it might be, unless it's some sort of chemical thing.
It's not like pressed is it's really pressed. I was like, okay, but it's still just 87 grams of weed or whatever, or THC.
But what? Okay, so again, this is more of a. This isn't really This isn't really a weed thing. This is
So it is concentrated.
Yeah, it's a concentrated thing. So 87 grams of this stuff, and then of course he's got to get the 2 prepaid smartphones in there so that he can hook up with the.
Right, I gotta make my re-up order.
That's right, exactly. And then the 9.
I'm a baller on a budget. All right, there's smartphones.
9 MP3 players.
And he got the good one, prepaid smartphones. He didn't give him the little plain flip phone.
Yeah,
he gave him the real deal.
This dude's legit.
He's being a helper.
This guy's a hero. I don't know how he thought he was going to do this at a correctional.
Yeah. You're in the daylight. No, there's no guards going like, "Hey, what's that?"
Yeah.
No.
Not to mention the fact that the yard's got cameras in it. It's a prison. Of course the yard has cameras in it.
Oh, they're convicts. They're not really too bright.
I don't know. I mean, and
get it real quick. They don't know who we are. The thing is, we have numbers on all of you. We know exactly who you are.
You can get the drone up there. It's dropping the contraband, right? Or getting the drone in there. And it says the drone crashed, right? And I'm looking through this article and I'm trying to see something.
Dude shot out like a skeet.
Somebody shot that dude
a
down.
skeet
Somebody
shot going,
that
got
dude
it.
down. This thing did not crash, right?
No.
Authorities pulled surveillance videos from a nearby high school and saw a young man driving a red Chevy Tahoe with Transformers decal in the rear window. So this kid, wow, removed the drone package from the vehicle. So this kid is I'm not gonna lie, sounds like a white kid. I mean, I'm not trying to be racist.
I mean, come on. The first drug was crystal meth. All right,
Yeah.
That's typically a white man drug because we're idiots and we boil a lot of chemicals they use for paint and make them a drug.
Yep. Right. This is sounding like a high schooler. I mean,
it really does. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And
the little tweaker is like, here we go.
Even if you didn't have that part of the report, you said a drone tried to drop drugs. And by the way, apart from the crystal meth, press THC, smartphones, and MP3 players. It sounds like a high schooler, right?
Yeah.
And so,
or a guy that knows a hookup at a pawn shop.
Yeah, this dude is probably not an adult. This is
what really was weird about me is like what they charged him with. Is one count of attempting to provide contraband in prison, check. One count of serving as an airman without an airman's certificate, ? And one count of possession with intent to distribute a controlled substance, check.
Yep.
The part that got me was like, airman's certificate? What are you talking about? It's a drone. I looked it up. Turns out you need a license to fly a drone, even if recreationally. Yep. I had no clue about that.
Yes, you do. In the state of Texas, you do.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me at all. It's a flipping toy.
There is a place that you can go that I know where you can fly a drone without a license. And it's the great state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they
so I'll never do it.
Oklahoma, they allow you to sit there with your tobacco and bottle of ranch dressing and fly yourself down.
Bottle of ranch dressing? Gotta have it on tap. It said you need it whether flying recreationally or commercially. And I was like, well, what is commercially? I assume something like, Amazon or whatever. So I was like, well, what's your definition, Mr. Website? Any drone flight operations that result in direct compensation or used to advance any business can be considered commercial use and will require a drone license. These type of activities usually pretty easy to identify. Getting paid to take photos at a wedding or survey a construction site are unquestionably examples of commercial drone use, which, again, is just stupid. So I need to have a license to do like a little go in take pictures of someone?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
The government just can't stop, can they? They have to regulate every little thing.
The commercial drone use. And for the record, this sounds like commercial drone use.
Oh, he's definitely this one has commercial. Like, I'm going to, how is the plan, though? Like, how are you getting the money? That's the part I don't understand. Like, you drop it,
I'm going to connect the drop with the people using the smartphones.
Oh, he'll Venmo.
Yeah, that's right.
He'll Venmo from commissary.
Venmo. Yeah. That's the issue there.
There's a test online, by the way. You can take it. It's like 15 minutes.
There's a serious amount of creativity that goes into this, and so I have a lot of respect for this guy, kid, whoever it is. It doesn't mention how old he is.
Yeah, you deserve to go to prison. However, you're getting a nod because it's hilarious.
That's right. That's awesome. There are certain crimes that you do when you go to prison where people are like, it's like you're bad even if you're in prison, like especially people that do stuff to kids.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll take care of them.
The people in prison don't like you. This is the one thing where these guys be like, hey man, you know
that was you.
You know how to hook that up? Look at it. It's like you got some more friends with drones.
Yeah. Got some more friends that know how to twiddle those thumbs over my little recreation center.
Yeah. And know where the cameras are. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, this time is a little better than the flying.
All right. Well, there's really no other way to transfer. So this is the thing. We try our best to transfer smoothly from one story to another. No way to do this. No. There's a bunch of people that are a bunch of MAGA protesters.
There's MAGA
in Austin, Texas.
Finally, some MAGA in Austin. Thank you.
The MAGA is going to Austin,
so happy.
Texas. The Mothers Against Greg Abbott.
That is not what I think you're going to say.
No. But it is ironic. And
I take back my entire statement.
You are my political opponents. I respect. I like that, right? Using our own acronym against us.
No.
I think it's fun. Anyway.
Get out of here.
These people are called Mothers Against Greg Abbott. And this woman who's running it, what is her name? Nancy Thompson. Nancy Thompson, who claims that she's a former Republican and also claims that there are Republicans, Democrats, and moderates in her movement. I don't believe either of those claims. I just don't. I mean, listening to the article, they probably got a guy who's like, he's a Republican, but he's in Austin, so he's not really a Republican.
Yeah.
And they got one guy, one moderate, and they're just like, yeah, it's now a mixed bag. No, this is.
I guess when I read the story, I just went, oh, nope, does not pass the smell test.
Yeah, doesn't smell
nope,
right.
That doesn't smell right. Nope. And she started this because she was mad at Abbott because he fought against schools forcing children to wear masks.
Yeah.
They have 50,000 members on Facebook.
Who? I was saying 50,000 members on Facebook. Now,
who
it's a single movement.
Aren't verified people, not sure if they're bots, also not all from Texas.
It's a single movement.
Definitely no Republican in that bunch at all.
Single movement in a single city. All right, so you could make that case. However, for a political movement, 50,000 people for a Texas political movement, I mean, come on. I know.
It took this long. Like O'Rourke this weekend finally gave it recognition. Like, yeah, those MAGA people down there, the good ones, the good MAGA. And it's like, but she's like, I maintain to keep it separate from Beto.
You and I,
no, you haven't. You've been trying to knock on his door the entire time. You
and I personally know somebody with 100 times that many Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that's not a lot. Yeah, she's trying to keep it separate from Beto O'Rourke, but she's certainly not.
That's a lie.
She's certainly not harping on him when he has some things to say about it, right? And this is the crazy thing, is they're like, this is a big deal. So we got this from the Houston Chronicle, the Texas Tribune.
This was the Tribune.
Yeah, this was the Tribune.
The last one was Chronicle.
So we got this from the Texas Tribune, link in the description. And you love these stories because here's what it says. Oh, who's talking about how this is going to be a big boost for Beto O'Rourke. And then it says, O'Rourke has long had an advantage with women in his uphill battle against Abbott, leading governor by 6 percentage points among the likely female voters in the latest public survey. But Thompson is working to rally a more specific group, mothers like herself. So you think like you're already winning in women, right?
Yeah.
You're already in that demographic, but we're going to make it more specific to mothers. Most women that vote are mothers.
Yeah, why do you think Beto took forever to finally give her recognition?
This advantage that you have already exists, but you're just looking, and this just reeks of desperation.
Her argument makes no freaking sense, because if you read the entire article, again, in the description, she stated she started because of COVID, and Governor Abbott did not take COVID seriously, whatever that means. Well, then she says she put up 5 billboards criticizing Abbott about the Uvalde school shooting. And then she says also about Texas abortion law. So which one is it? Is it COVID or is it just whatever pops in your pretty little head?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it seems like to me. And the whole COVID thing was BS, and we all knew it was BS. But, continue.
The other thing is this doesn't even seem like a group that is specific about a particular issue, right? So when you have moms for Greg Abbott, and I looked at this story and I thought, this is going to be about abortion. Right? Because that's what you do. You've got these women that are like, I'm a mother and I still want abortion, whatever. I thought it was going to be about abortion, but it's not. It's just a woman who wants to raise money for Beto O'Rourke. That's the whole story. And yet it's
behind a hue of just slogans.
It's a 1,000+ word article in the Texas Tribune is about this woman raising money for Beto O'Rourke. Right?
Yeah.
She wants to,
but also claiming I'm not doing that because campaign finance.
Yeah.
Sure you're not.
No, you're basically raising money
over $200,000. Get out of here.
And here's the thing: you're not going to win. You're not going to win this. And you want to know how I know you're not going to win this? Because this is a story in the Texas Tribune. Is basically they're saying, hey, a woman is raising money for Beto O'Rourke using a demographic that Beto O'Rourke already owns.
Right.
Right.
So we can fawn it.
Suburban women is a demographic, and most of whom are mothers, is a demographic that Beto O'Rourke has always had a firm grasp on. So the fact that you're celebrating this tells me that you don't have anything actually worth celebrating. Right. Again, Greg Abbott, you're going to lose, and I'm going to dance on the grave of your political career.
Who?
Did I say Greg Abbott? Oh, yeah. Beto O'Rourke. That was a slip of the tongue. Beto O'Rourke.
See, I told you don't want to have it either. So it's better than Beto.
Secret Democrat over here, man. Secret Democrat. I got to admit it.
Got him.
Beto O'Rourke. You are going to lose. I'm going to dance on the grave of your political career. There's not enough New Mexican dirt in the world for this.
Sorry, buddy.
But it all started with the COVID stuff, and that's where she said, I can't believe it. And the COVID mask mandate dropping that, I remember I was having conversations with people that I generally politically agree with, talking about how it was such a panic. But this woman took it extremely far. In the
I had to defend myself against people I thought were on my side. They're like, you're crazy. I'm like, no, you're crazy. You think this cloth is going to work? Get out of here.
It's absolutely
and it
not.
didn't. It still doesn't.
You know who just confirmed that it didn't?
Who's that?
That would be the Center for Disease Control, otherwise known as the CDC.
Otherwise known as the science.
No, that's Fauci.
No, he's also the science.
Yeah.
They're the corporation that created
They're the
science.
trademark science, right?
Hashtag science.
It's like the American Inventors of Science, or the CDC.
Yeah.
They've just come out and they've told us, and this has nothing to do with Texas, but I don't care.
It does, though. It does, because it affects all of Texas, because people are going back to school now.
It affects everything.
Welcome back. Sorry, kids.
So what does the CDC say? Well, the CDC has said that they're, again, loosening guidelines on COVID-19. Does that mean, James, that we've won? That COVID-19 is gone forever?
No, we're going to hold that in our back pocket just in case we want to scare you again.
Didn't the president just get COVID?
Twice.
Yep. Isn't the president, quintuple vaccinated?
Allegedly.
We
don't know what's in that vial.
My wife and son just got COVID. Some good friends of ours just got COVID. Hit pretty hard, right?
We've had COVID,
right? COVID's out there. So it's not because COVID isn't there. I would venture it's because COVID is no longer politically active.
Oh, it's just a flu like everybody said? What?
Yeah. Exactly.
The new freaking guidelines are stupid. Those exposed to Rona no longer required to quarantine.
But here's the thing.
Okay. That's one.
This is the biggest thing about the CDC's recommendation. This doesn't have to do with the mask. It's this one statement. The guidance for vaccinated and unvaccinated people is now the same.
Oh, I didn't see this coming.
So whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, it doesn't change how you should live your life. And again, does that mean we've beaten COVID? No, COVID is still out there.
Yeah.
Right? Does that mean that people who are not vaccinated people who aren't vaccinated aren't getting COVID? No, they are. And so are people that are vaccinated.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, this isn't I know we kind of harp on it. This really isn't a big deal. It's just 2 years later, millions of people affected, thousands of people losing their jobs, thousands of veterans losing their jobs and their pensions, and people getting kicked out of the military and losing their retirement, like I said, and, just trust the Fed. It's been no big deal. I don't understand why we're so up in arms about this.
It's an absolutely big deal.
I mean, right? Stalin was a nice guy, and this is kind of how it happened. So we needed the guidance in order to correctly.
There are people that are losing their jobs. I've known people have lost their jobs, right? Lost their livelihood because they don't want to get stuck with this. They don't want to get stuck with this vaccine. Veterans,
real people that can defend our country that I'm not going to do.
There have been people that
they lost their job because they said, "Yeah, I'm making the jab. I'm fine. I'm 23 and I'm buff.
Yeah,
you still need it. No, I don't. Well, you're out. Okay."
There have been people that have experienced any side effects, severe side effects from this kind of stuff.
We can't talk about that
because you've forced them, you've made them take it, even though we don't know what this does to people who have specific conditions, right? People are having to go against their conscience in order to maintain their livelihoods. All of this is happening, and now they're like, oh, well,
our bad.
If you made it, right, if you didn't get vaccinated, it's like some of us actually made it through this without having to get vaccinated. Yeah. If that's the case, then good for you. But for the rest of you that we forced to do this, sorry, our bad. We'll try better next time.
Yeah, right? We'll keep checking on you for the experiment. Definitely not reporting the results, but we'll just keep checking on you. And if it goes wrong, well, that sucks to be you. I'm sorry.
This made me mad. So everything that was going on with the CDC and COVID, I mean, to a certain degree I understood it, especially when we were in the throes of it, because we didn't really understand this. And it's been getting more progressively irritating, but not many things have made me mad. This made me mad. Yeah. I was really upset because, I know people that said, I don't want to do this, but I'll lose my job, so I have to get it done.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what it's going to do. I know people that have shed tears over this decision, right? And people say there are those that are like pro-vax say, oh, those people, they're just ignorant. They don't know. No, you don't know. Let's be real. Nobody knew, right? We had rushed this thing through, and that's one of the things that. This is one of the weird things. This is one of the things that kind of drove me crazy.
Not only did you rush it through, I'm actually fine with it because it was a therapeutic, but you blocked all other therapeutics from even having a chance for being prescribed.
Yeah.
And then you made fun of it on the TV screens because it wasn't your magic potion that still wasn't working. And then when someone did say something that had credibility, you cancel them.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that
Dr. Malone, that's the guy on Joe Rogan. You canceled him.
That I think, yeah, that's right. Right. This is one of the things that I'm conflicted on whether or not I blame Trump for this, because on the one hand, you had the Operation Warp Speed, right?
We cannot blame Trump. It's a no. He's not king.
Okay, no, he's not the king. All right, he's not the king. He's not the king. He's not the king of Texas. He might become the king of Florida at some point, but he's not the king. He's not the king of Texas at this point. That's still Greg. No, I'm just kidding. But the point is, you have Operation Warp Speed, which means you've got this thing that's kind of being rushed through. And a part of it I like, because part of it's like, yeah, let's take away some of the nonsense red tape.
Right, let's see what we can do
this. Go through and see if we can.
America has innovation. Let's try it.
But also when if you're doing it and it has to be politically expedient because you want credit for it, which let's be real, we all know Trump wanted credit for this.
No.
Right? Then you have an issue of like getting it through, and now you've got a situation where you might not have something that's as effective as you think it is, or could cause side effects that you're not anticipating.
Could you do big actual groups, but whatever.
The other thing that I need to consider though is the rollout. And I think that was the big issue. That's the big issue that I have with all this. So yes, Trump pushed it through. He got it I think he pushed it through too fast. We didn't quite know enough about it. We probably needed more.
We would have had it faster if they didn't wait literally to the week after the election. Be like, "Hey guys, we're gonna have it." Oh, see.
But what I don't think Trump would have done, and this is complete speculation because of course Trump is not the president. But what I don't think Trump would have done would be force people to take it.
No.
I think that Trump would have been like, I think he would have gone out and been like, look at this beautiful vaccine.
Right.
Look at this beautiful vaccine I made. You should take it. I want you to take it. Please. Please, I've got too much of it. Just everybody take it.
Are you going to fire me for that?
Nah, but you should probably still take it. Right? Everybody says it's the best. I tell them, I don't want you to say it's the best. But they say, no, Mr. Trump, it's the best, right? But that's the thing.
Get more Jewy on that.
I know. Everything Trump, Fauci. I just lean heavy on the anti-Semitic tropes. Yeah, but the point here is I don't think Trump would have done that. I think Trump would have really encouraged people to take it. I don't think it would have been a matter of you're going to lose your job.
No,
I just don't.
And it would have been the opposite. The left would have been like, "Don't take it, don't take it, don't take it." They were the entire time of the election. Everybody forgets about that.
The left,
the science change did it.
The left took over a city. They took over a city, and Trump let them. And I was having an argument with a friend of mine about this. I said, "Here's the thing, man. Trump, this guy's a libertarian," and I say, "Trump is the most libertarian president of my lifetime." He's like, "Oh no, are you kidding? That dude's an authoritarian." Heck ago. Trump let the not the MAGA people. Trump let the Chaz people take over.
Yeah. And he said we probably should throw in the National Guard, but he never did.
Yeah. And he goes, no, he just lacked the resources to deal with them effectively. Like, he's the president of the United States.
I can send 10 Marines who will kill all of y'all with their pinky.
I could drone strike you, and you never knew it happened, right? He had the resources. He just didn't. This is not the kind of guy that's going to say, listen, if you don't take my vaccine, you're done. You're done. You're going to be fired like a dog, right? And that's not the Trump. I don't think that would happen. Now, there are some people can disagree with me, and obviously it's speculation. Obviously, I have no actual evidence for this because Trump's not the president. But there are people that tell me, they speculate on things like Putin. They'll say things like, well, if Trump were president, we would have gotten to Putin faster. We would have invaded Russia faster. And I go, Trump was president, or no, Putin would have invaded Ukraine faster, right?
No.
I say Trump was president and Putin didn't invade Ukraine.
He stood there and stared, but he was like, that's all I can do. I'm not going to make a move.
But I mean, this is the kind of guy that's going to sit there and blow hard about his achievements, but I don't think he's going to put the boot down on people that don't want to do it.
No.
Whereas Joe Biden 100% will.
I'm just happy with the CDC is giving us freedom, Nick. That's the silver lining. It was finally free.
You didn't give me freedom, right? You recognized the freedom that I already had, and I didn't have to shoot you for it.
Yeah, Americans finally got to you. Like, yeah,
Not planning on shooting anybody.
we're not going to do this.
Not actually planning on shooting anybody. They're like, oh my gosh, the Texans, they're coming. They've got their guns, right?
Oh, we do. So is Houston.
But friends, this is why federalism is such a good thing, because the one thing that we did have was that there was a certain level of enforcement. Now, because the level of enforcement had been laid out to the companies, right? Different companies were enforcing it, but the enforcement on the state level in Texas was actually fairly mild.
Yeah.
Because federalism is awesome.
Yep.
Right? Federalism lives forever. In Texas, we've got to stand firm. We got to rely on federalism because, like I've always very fond of saying, we are the stars at night. We are
Big and bright.
We'll see you next week, hopefully with James's beard.